to the Carolina Panthers. It was one of the sports stories of the day. It is extremely odd timing, but they fired their general manager, Dave Gettleman. This comes in the wake of having lost Brandon Beane to the Buffalo Bills. He was their assistant GM for many years. He's now teamed up with Sean McDermott. This is also after the fact that Danny Morrison, the president of the team, resigned in February. So in the last 5 months, they have lost the team president, the GM, and the assistant GM, and they are now in a black hole of gentlemen that can take over that job. Obviously, they're going to have to promote from within because there isn't a team that's going to let their general manager or assistant general manager go at this stage.
No,
well, they still have Ron
at this
Rivera.
point. I mean, it's weird timing, but it was much to the delight of a lot of former players. D'Angelo Williams said on Twitter, he said, "Now I'll take the Panthers off my list of teams I won't play for because that snake Gettleman is gone." But, you know, this guy did build a team, though, was part of building a team that, did go to the Super Bowl, though, as well. So sometimes, these guys get villainized. It's like, I remember actually with the Mets, like, everybody would villainize Steve Phillips, but that was the guy that traded for Mike Piazza and drafted David Wright. So you can't look at everything in the vacuum.
I mean, it was there 4 seasons. Would you credit him necessarily with being the central piece?
I
in
think he
making
has
all
to
this
get.
happen?
I would know. I'm not in, the war room enough to know if he's a central piece, but he's got to be a part of it.
I agree. You have to
Yeah.
give him some credit.
And
Yeah,
maybe
we'll give him some
D'Angelo
credit.
Williams is mad because we hear like players like this. It's like, he felt like D'Angelo was not at the point anymore we wanted him, and he got rid of him. So that's probably why D'Angelo was mad.
Josh Norman went the emoji route on Twitter. Steve Smith is like, "It's okay, Dave." What did he say? "It's okay, Dave. I know how you feel," because they famously really got into it. Steve Smith was not happy about
They
being
probably felt that both guys were at the end of their careers. To their credit, Steve
So
Smith
those-
and D'Angelo Williams both proved them wrong.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Now you got the situation where who's the defensive player that they got that they need to get done, Mike? I can't think
They
of his
got
name. Right now.
Kawan Short done.
Yeah.
They got it done, though.
So they got that done. They got to do something with Olsen. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Olsen was like threatening a little bit of a holdout or whatever. Even though I think Olsen would have showed up. So you see where there's a problem where this guy was creating issues for the team, and now you're coming into this season. You got to get this Olsen thing. Then they probably were like, you know what? Let's get rid of you. Let's get Olsen in here, get him locked up, get him going, and get into this season in the best way we possibly can. But it's a situation where they're not looking like they look like a team in disarray, Mike.
Thomas Davis is the other player that we were
Yes,
referencing. They have
Thomas
to get that
Davis.
done.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, and that year they went 15-1. Cam Newton, played out of his mind. They had a cupcake schedule. That division was a joke defensively. And granted, they had to win the playoff games. They did, but there's a lot of question marks still. Now they lost their defensive coordinator. Their offense is going to evolve this season. So it's going to be interesting to see how things do play out in Carolina.
Scott, I'll throw it over to you. There's a lot of unrest, obviously, within the organization now. Sometimes we dismiss how the organizational strife, or whatever you want to call it, can impact the on-field play. But as Corey just mentioned, there's a couple players that might not be that happy coming into camp, and they're veterans. So do you think...
Yeah, and, Ron Rivera was on the hot seat, according to a lot of the beat guys anyway to begin with. So,
Right.
This is a team with a lot of talent, but the environment is not conducive to winning.
Are you concerned
right
about
now.
Cam Newton this year?
I think even if this didn't happen, I'd be concerned about Cam. He's taken a lot of hits over the years, being the mobile quarterback that he is. They say they don't want him to be the man anymore and rely on his playmakers. He's never been, the best in terms of completion percentage or throwing the mid-range pass. I'm not saying he's totally not going to run, but he's not in my top 15 quarterbacks right now.
Wow. Corey, Cam Newton, according to Fantasy Pros, average draft position, he's around top 10. You have him there, or you're going to let somebody else take the risk?
I'm going to let somebody else take the risk. I will have 0 shares of Cam Newton in 2017. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a little sneak peek of my rankings, which are available in Xclusive Edge Package exclusively, because this is good stuff right here. But I'll tell you, I'll give you a little nugget, though. I got Cam Newton at 18.
Wow.
I got him at 12. I understand all the negatives and all that, but it's still Cam Newton. Cam Newton, every time we write this guy off, comes back, puts on the cape with the big S on his chest, and I'm not buying that Cam Newton's not running. Once that game clock starts, he gets by that end zone, he's going for that pylon. So I'm not as high as I've been in the past on Cam, but I still have him at 12.
When you do
you believe it
rankings-
when you see it, right? You believe he stops running when you see it.
Exactly.
When I was doing my quarterback ranks, it's like I felt the same kind of as Matty did, but like then I kept coming up with these guys. I said I just can't put him ahead of any of these guys.
Yeah, I understand that.
I even have Carson Wentz ahead of him.
I wouldn't go that far,
Yeah.
but
I like Carson Wentz this year.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to Wentz in a minute, but I wanted to stick with the Panthers. And so obviously they drafted a couple. They made a really strong decision to go after a couple of young players, infuse some younger talent in here. They obviously needed that. Kelvin Benjamin they had just a few years ago. Now he's in a new season. Devin Funchess, Curtis Samuel, a rookie that they drafted in the second round. That's the receiving core, Scott. Obviously, Greg Olsen, another pass catcher there. Christian McCaffrey drafted as a versatile running back that can catch some passes. Who's the guy that you want the most out of that offense?
If it's not Kelvin Benjamin, Samuel's rookie wide receiver. It would probably be McCaffrey in a PPR, although I'm not jumping for him in the third round.
Corey, I didn't think I liked McCaffrey as much as I did until my draft started happening, and now I'm focused on him.
Where you seeing him at now?
I mean, where did I get him in Scott Fishbowl? That was probably like the fourth round I ended up picking him.
I don't think I like him in 4. I think I like him a little bit better in 5. I want a discount on him. That's the way I feel because I'm just not sure what the whole offense is going to be. But him and Samuels, the two young players that they drafted this year, I'll take McCaffrey in that 5th round range. And I'll take Samuel, obviously, a little bit. God, I'll take later on in the draft as a flyer. Those are the only two Carolina Panthers I'm interested in. Those big, slow wide receivers, they can have them. Greg Olsen, I like a lot as an NFL player, but he's not a fantasy asset I'm looking at this year. He's never going to drop far enough for me to be on my team. The thing I like about Olsen, though, this is a tight end that has played 16 games every season
unbelievable.
for the last 6 years.
He's an unbelievable player.
That's crazy for a tight end.
I know. He's extremely healthy. He's the guy that I have targeted by far the most out of any tight end in the last 5 seasons. I'm always looking for him. I was always able to get him up on value until basically last year.
Last year is when his ADP jumped.
But I was still willing to take a little bit of a risk on
still
him.
know this year when Cam needs a key reception,
Absolutely.
it's still his top guy.
Yeah. So Kelvin Benjamin, I feel like of all of these players, is the guy that gets
I'm not
talked
going to
about
have
the
any
least.
shares of Kelvin Benjamin. I can tell
Why
you
is that?
There's always somebody I like better than Kelvin Benjamin. Even last season, he was their number 1 wide receiver, but I think from weeks 1 through 16, he was like 36. There's other guys. I mean, I'm just not a fan of the guy. McCaffrey, I will take in the 4th round. I'm really not going to pay the 3rd round price, but if he's there in the 4th round, maybe even end of the 3rd, that's when I'm in on him. Look, somebody's got to get the ball. Somebody's got to get the attempts. Somebody's got to make pass catching. They made a heavy investment in him. Look, even if Jonathan Stewart is usurping some goal line touches and getting some attempts, it's going to be McCaffrey's going to be the bulk of it.
Yeah.
I'll be okay with Benjamin as a wide receiver 4 because I think this team's going to play from behind. And when Corey talks about pound for pound talent, this guy's got a lot of pound for pound talent, even though between the years it's kind of questionable.
Yeah. I mean, they went from the Super Bowl to a 6-10 team. Hopefully that slide is stopped this year when these players can bounce back.